Well, hello, my Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Path of True Love reading for March 2020, or Timeless, whenever you're supposed to be watching it. I am your reader, Mark Angela Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive. Very, very happy to be reading for you. Just had a client here at the house, so I'm nice and warmed up and ready to rock and roll. I hope you are as well. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment as you see fit in the comment section below, because I always like hearing what's going on the other side of these YouTubes, right? I'm just getting general themes. I like to know how this shit plays out. So please feel free to comment kindly if you would. That being said, let's get down to business with this reading. For example, this is a general reading, right? It's not a private read. Just did a private read. Pretty clear, pretty accurate, pretty specific to her, because there was only one of her. There weren't hundreds of thousands, like in the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, whatever signs, right? So please take what resonates, leave what does not. You're a very intuitive sign. You should be able to feel what resonates in your own body and in your own intuitive field, no problem. Leave what doesn't resonate, and check your other signs, which is why I do Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs for all the relationship-based spreads, and why I try and keep them entertaining as well as informative. So they're not a bit of a drone, but you can certainly get different aspects of different partnerships in your life as a result of these readings, checking your other signs. That said, this is a Path of True Love reading. To clarify, even though it is in the description, this is about your path, your healing path, your spiritual path, your hero's journey through the lenses of the relationships in your life. The path of true love is not about finding true love. It's about becoming true love, unconditional love, divine love, eternal love. The path is what removes the excess marble. Just like when they asked Michelangelo how he created the statue of the David. This isn't the original, by the way. This is just a copy, obviously. The original's huge. When they asked him, Michelangelo, not the turtle, the artist. Always feel like I have to clarify. How did you create the statue of the David? And he said, I didn't. God did. The divine did. But I chipped away the excess marble. When in Rome, right? So that's what the path of true love is. Your relationships are what help. Sometimes a gentle buff off the excess marble, sometimes dynamite, sometimes sandpaper, sometimes hammer and chisel. And that's why every relationship is here to help you, scripted in the quantum divine plan, predestined if you want to see it that way. But we get to choose how we want to play it, right? What's our narrative in our own minds? What are we learning, healing, and growing through? What's removing the excess marble, and are we grabbing that marble right back? Yeah. Tricky shit. So that's what these readings are for, which is why we are doing a Celtic cross spread, one of my favorite spreads, and I actually have in the description box a little thing there about, you know, how I read the Celtic cross, because everybody reads it differently. A little bit, not everybody differently, but once the first two cards are down, it tends to get squirrely where the third one goes, and that's where people get, I don't read it that way. So that's why I did that one, clarifying it. So that being said, all I need you to do is breathe. The more you partner with your breath in any activity, let alone a reading on YouTube, the more in the present moment you are. If you get triggered, breathe, because sometimes that's an intuitive hit. Sometimes it's just the mind responding to something it doesn't want to hear. So you'll be able to tell which it is usually if you breathe, come into the present moment. Release the past and the future, and you can see what's going on more organically in your energy field, right? It's just how intuition works. And I will be doing the same, so as I'm tuning to the divine at the still point, ringing the silent bell of the heart, I'm allowing the divine to work through me, which is how I read, how I'm built. Cool, cool. So if you're doing the same, simpatico. Let's do this. Breathe. Because we're going to start with one Caroline Myss archetype card. All the decks that I read are in the description box at the bottom. Have fun scrolling through. There's other cool stuff that I put in my description box, so go have a look-see-ducksy, click, clickety-click on those links. Because this is going to tell us what is the dominant archetype that you are dealing with on the path of true love for March 2020 or Timeless. So let's do this. My collective pantheon of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, I need one archetype card as a dominant energy to represent this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love, or what they're dealing with. Maybe not so much the archetype of someone they're dealing with, but at least something either within their own chemistry for the time allotted, right? March-ish, or something going on in a situation in their life on the path of true love. So in other words, this can be an archetype that's active within you or in the situation on the path itself. And we've got the mentor archetype. Every archetype has its light and its shadow. The shadow is the toxic stuff you don't want people to know about. That's the lead, if you want to speak the language of alchemy, that the path of true love is helping you chip away the excess marble, release the 3 atoms to transform lead into gold, or to lift shadow into light. Shadow attribute, inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instructions. So imagine a toxic mentor. Like, let's put it in a business context quickly. Because, by the way, path of true love relationships aren't all romantic sexual. This could easily be, oh, we have plenty of cards to look down. We're not determining that yet. But imagine you're at work and you're given a mentor. It's like, well, this person's going to mentor you through this process, right? How we do business here, sort of like a trainer, right? But then they're kind of telling you, like, okay, and if you want to steal from the register, this is how you do it. And it's like, now if anything's stolen from the register, you're going to be implied because they told you, right? Shadowy, shady shit, right? It's like, that's the leaded side of it. Or never giving you enough information to surpass them to become master, right? But the light attribute, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. Now, I'm not really a mentor, I'm a teacher. They feel a little similar. They're both the wisdom family of archetypes, the teacher and the mentor, but I don't know if you could see in this card, the mentor literally has a wing that they've taken. The student is the word that they use. I would call it the mentee, because you have a mentor and a mentee, right? Under his wings, refining his character, passing on wisdom. So you could be playing that role, or the path of true love itself might be giving you specific mentoring, taking you, refining your character, removing the excess marble, as well as imparting wisdom. And wisdom only comes through experience. Yeah, someone can give you words of wisdom, but those are just seeds scattered, right? If they take root, they take root, but at some point they must be cultivated, right? Wisdom, knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. So yeah, you want to know how to do something before you do it, but you won't have the wisdom of it until you've done it. One more of these before we start laying down the Celtic cross. One from the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. There's the suit of problems, because you need to know the problem sometimes. The suit of luck, the suit of healing, and the suit of grace. Let's see which ones the Ascended Masters pick for you to be aware of with this mentor. I do feel like for the majority of this quantum collective I'm reading here for Scorpio that you are the mentor, but then there's like a quarter of you that might be mentored or feel like being guided, mentored through a process of refinement through a particular relationship. So the relationship itself might be the mentor, not the other person involved. Probable. Let's have a look. My Ascended Masters, hi. That was lovely. They're like, hi. They're the most human of all my pantheons, please. My Ascended Masters, just one card, a Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, to clarify, to give a little clue, tip, hint for this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What's going on for them on the path of true love? What's the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack card? Is there a problem they should know about? Is there a piece of luck they should be aware of? Is there an opportunity for healing? Or is there some grace available for them? March 2020 or timeless. You got the grace card in the grace suit. So look. This is a tree growing out of the palm of the hand of the divine, while two people are sort of like, oh, isn't that cute, right? Walking on the palm. That everything in this is right in the palm of the hands of the divine. Grace means that really you can relax, but certainly go with the flow of inspiration, right? So grace is not necessarily a tense action card. But like ballet, right? People say, oh, the ballet dancers, they're so graceful. But I've lived with dancers. If you've ever seen a ballet dancer's foot, oh my God, gnarly, right? Why? Because there are broken bones, there are calluses, there are bunions, it's a nightmare down there, but necessary, right? So grace usually comes from a period of tests and trials and endurance and, training, if you will. So perhaps it is time to allow the universe to mentor you or to pass on some of your grace on the path of true love, right? Because to somebody else, I'm like, how do you do that? How do you make that happen? Like, people ask me, how do you read like that? I'm like, I started when I was 12. I'm going to be 52 this year. Repetition is the mother of skill. Thank you, Tony Robbins. He's still so cute. So you can mentor me anytime. He's married with kids. So to kind of feel that grace, that the grace is the breath of God, right? So the divine, if you will. I'm going to take it out of gender. So just feel that, like my Pisces. Read Carolyn May's Defying Gravity. It's either Defy Gravity or Defying Gravity. I know one's a song from Wicked, one's her book. I can never remember which. That grace is a substance, a mystical substance, which means we'll never fully understand it, and yet we can sense it sometimes when it's present in our lives. So that's a really good start for y'all Scorpios. And if you're more spiritually attuned, intuitively attuned to grace, you'll probably get more of a sense of it now that you know that there's grace going on for you this month. Now let's start laying out our Celtic Cross spread. 10 positions, but we're going to use 2 different decks. We're going to put down 10 of the Daughters of the Moon Tarot so that we have a tarot foundation, but then we're going to immediately, at the same time, put a Healing with the Angels Oracle card, Doreen Virtue, on it. So I'm going to shuffle both of them now separately so that they are loaded and programmed and blessed so that we can lay out this spread quicker rather than longer. Cool? Nice deep breath. My deities, my goddesses, my gods, please, top 10 cards, Celtic Cross for this Scorpio collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love. Celtic Cross, top 10 cards. What's going on for them? For Timeless, whenever they're supposed to watch this, but certainly for the point of view of where I am right now, the month of March 2020, perhaps a little bit beyond that, please. My deities, top 10 cards, gotcha. Celtic Cross, Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, path of true love. Clean cut, please. Maiden. Oh, Mother Crow. I don't know if you saw that. We had a jumper at the last second, which is why I asked for clean cut, that if that happens and I see it, then I know that's the card that's supposed to be on top. We're just going to do these really quickly. It's just a different pantheon. Give me a sec. Oh, it's like changing channels. It is changing channels. Please, my angels. Top 10 cards, Celtic Cross for this Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, please. What's going on for them on the path of true love for March 2020 or Timeless, please? My Ascended Masters, please work in tandem with my deities that we get a nice, clear Celtic Cross spread for this Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, path of true love, March 2020. Thank you very much. Thrones, powers, dominions. Instead of Maiden, Mother Crone. I used to know all the 9 choirs of angels, but, you know. What you gonna do? Let's have a look-see-dooksy. The first position down, then, for the Celtic Cross is the cover, the card that covers the person I'm reading for. You. Really now? We've got the Lover's card. Now, I know in a true love spread, everybody wants the Lover's card to mean sex and romance and all that stuff. Sure, that can be in there, but it's only the first card down, right? We've got a mentor relationship here, so let's pull back on that for a little bit. Let's just say the Lover's card traditionally is about a life-changing decision, like, am I going to fall in love? Am I going to let myself fall in love? Are my head and my heart congruent enough that the throat, the choice, right, can say the words, that I can mean what I say and say what I mean? To make the most, here we go, lovingly wise, powerful decision, right? To bring all of that into alignment and congruence. So that's where you are right now. Big life changer about a new beginning. Now, could that new beginning be a new relationship? Sure, but at this stage in the game, with that mentor card being either you are the mentor or you are being mentored, maybe by this new relationship, we shall see, we will determine as we go a little bit more of the shape and the form. But to say that where you are right now, Lover's card, Major Arcana, first card down with new beginnings, it's a big decision. And chances are you have already made the decision, but maybe you haven't taken the step, right? You've decided, but you have not actualized yet. So let's keep going. What's the situation? The cross, right? You have the card that covers you. This is the card that crosses you, the environment that you cross into, if you will. Who you got? Another Major Arcana card. Excellent. The card of the Sun, Amaterasu, Japanese solar goddess of the sun. So we're looking at something, as you hear over and over, the most positive card in the deck. It lightens any of the sharper, darker cards around it. But with that comes the card of support from the angels. Now, certainly this support can be the support of a mentor, right? Or perhaps the support that you are giving as a mentor here. But in this situation, it certainly speaks of you have the spiritual support. These are Major Arcana cards down, spirit cards, right? Because you got fire, earth, air, water. The Major Arcana cards are the spirit. So we're looking at a place that you are in right now. This condition, this environment that you're in is very supportive and very positive, very healing, very whole, W-H-O-L-E. It feels like the emotional component and the mental component and the physical component. And again, you really want this. So it doesn't feel like there's any real deception going on in this new beginning of this decision or this decision for a new beginning. And even though there may be those who support you in this physically, like people in physical bodies is what I mean, that there also feels like there's a lot of guidance and grace here. But this guidance now I'm feeling might be coming from the invisible world. So if you're not playing the role of a mentor, if someone's not playing the role of a mentor to you, then this reading is telling you that you are being mentored by the divine, right? It's a very, well, I'd say a semi-famous piece of artwork there. It's a bunch of, well, to me, angels, guides, masters, gods, goddesses, my pantheons around planet Earth. Like planet Earth is like they're all watching reality TV as our reality, right? So you have that support there. I bet they're just laying bets, although they know how it plays out. That's cheating. So really nice beginning for a Celtic cross. The Lovers and the Sun. Anybody who gets that in the Celtic cross of anything is looking at a pretty good situation. Let's see what's in the third position. I put it below, called the core, the subconscious, the voice of the soul, the stuff going under the surface but within you, within the person I'm reading, within whoever is in position number one. What do the deities and the angels got to say about that? We've got the Four of Flames conflict with the angel card of dreams. So a conflict of dreams. Now already I can see that there are dreams of conflict possible here and different types of dreams. So if you're having literally sleeping, nocturnal, in the subconscious, unconscious realm dreams of wars, of fighting, of boxing, that kind of thing. Obviously, there's an internal struggle being sublimated if it's showing up. Well, it's either sublimated, pushed down because you're not dealing with it directly, or you're getting the intuitive sense, but you can't quite decode it, that as beautiful as this is, all is not as it appears, that there is some kind of push and pull, one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake. It can also mean that you have a conflict because this is not really your heart's desire, this situation. Now, it doesn't mean it can't become your heart's desire, but it says there's an internal conflict here. And with that card of dreams, that says to me, aside from the, sleepy, nocturnal, psychological dream, the processing of the stimuli in the nervous system, which is why sleep and rest is so necessary. Otherwise, we carry all that with us all the time. It doesn't get processed. Talk about excess baggage. Then this is really about, it's a conflict of a dream. Like, I don't know, let's say you have the dream of marrying someone famous, right? But you keep meeting like regular Joes or Janes, depending on your situation. And it's like, well, yeah, but it's not really, like, so yeah, it's wonderful, but, and that's very much how I feel about this Four of Flames card. The conflict. There are two archers pointing their arrows at each other, but only one dragon. So one conflict. And it's about desire. So I often see that as 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake. And if you do that, your wheels spin, right? So it can also be, if you're sensing, because things are so good, that this dream could then be a nightmare if you're having nightmares of things going awry. Remember, that can be sublimated fear, stuff you don't want to deal with, repressed emotion, or an intuitive thing of saying, yeah, nothing in life really stays in the sunlight forever, right? You know, even on the equator, the planet turns, right? So it's not always sunlight in one spot all the time, right? Let's see where this is coming from. What's behind you on the path? What's in your behind is what I'm asking you, Scorpio. I don't really want to know that. All right. Two of Blades analysis with retreat. So probably a wise move, if you are the mentor here, to step back, right? Maybe before this decision was made, this might be a continuation of something, although it's a Lover's card decision with new beginning paired with it. So there's been a lot of thought and gathering information, which is really what analysis is. Analysis is not so much about making a decision. A lot of people will say Two of Blades is indecision. Decision is a fire thing for me, so I see that as the Two of Flames or the Two of Wands. Here, the Two of Blades, the Two of Swords, it's that going back and forth. It's seeing things from different perspective. Well, if I look at it this way, I see this, but if I look at it this way and I look at it that way, I'm going to gather information, right? Perhaps to reach a conclusion in what? A decision-making process. So being that it was done in retreat, to pull back and see it from that distant perspective, where now it may be becoming more imminent, there could be that conflict of, yeah, well, I had this all figured out when I wasn't face-to-face with it, but now that I'm here, because my sense is that it feels really good. So you might have had some, come on, give me the words here. You might have had data, you might have had mentally acquired information, maybe even clairvoyant, clairaudient, all that kind of stuff in a phase of retreat. But now that you're kind of face to face with it, it just, there's this emotional, spiritual component here that perhaps you did not expect. Now, keep in mind, if you are the mentor here, I'm really glad that you took the time to retreat and analyze this from a more perhaps rational, intellectual, up here point of view. But also know, if then this is the other interpretation that I'm feeling here, is that the universe, the gods, the pantheons, the divine is mentoring you through this to say, yeah, we're going to give you all the stats first, but then you're going to walk into this and you're going to feel the support of the universe telling you that you can make, or at least it's safe to make this decision, but you are still in conflict over it. So it may be that even that new beginning, it's like, I need to start over again with this decision-making process, because you've got the information, but it's not as clear-cut, because what you're thinking and what you're feeling and what you're sensing, which is really three different dimensions, if you will, might be putting you into conflict. Fifth position, what crowns you? What's coming in? Like, not so much the future, but the immediate, like, what's the next step? Right? Not the next step on the larger journey, but in terms of where you are right now with this new beginning and this sun with support, right? This biggie decision. Third major arcana card. Okay, we know what this is now. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, right? The Spider Woman, that everything's interconnected, that it's all fate or destiny, depending on how you want to play it. What's the difference between fate and destiny? Fate is what you can't change. Destiny is what you do with it. Think the hero's journey. The path of true love is the hero's journey in that sense. That's what the gods say, that this is scripted, this is written, this is time, it's a divine timing element. There's no way this wasn't going to happen. You walk down the particular quantum web threads to get here. Yes, there are other quantum variants that may not be experiencing this, but this is where you are right now, or what's coming into being. It is the 5th position. So there is something scripted written here, and I'm hearing it's about time, because the angels say a romance. So there we go. You know, I say in these readings a lot, they're not necessarily romantic. Well, there are plenty of cards that will say so, and there's one of them, right? So this is a romance that is scripted. Now, might be the return of a romance. Lots of people are in relationships where the romance kind of wanes and then waxes, right? Anniversaries, vacations, holidays, you know, additions to the family, whether through pregnancy or a new dog or a new kitty or whatever, all sorts of movements of love. And it would make sense that in the warmth and support of the current situation, like maybe, oh, okay, like maybe some of this analysis you did in retreat, like on paper, this isn't a great idea. Like mentally, it's like, well, you know, how much do they make and where, how many people, you know how we do that. That's the ego. That's the ego judging. It is judgment. Different than discernment. Discernment is something feels off here, and something feels off here, but it feels like it's the conflict of, again, the head and the heart, where the head has all of this info that might be saying no, so like daddy says no in the third eye, but mommy's the heart, right? It's like, particularly if it's a dream, right? It's like, he's so dreamy, right? The child, the throat chakra, well, daddy says no, mommy says yes. What have I done to deserve this? What? It's a little Pet Shop Boys in the mix, right? So look, man, you got 3 major arcana cards in the 1st position, the 2nd position, and the 5th, and they're staring at me like a pyramid. You've got the Lovers, the Sun, and the Wheel of Fortune. This is scripted. This is divine plan oriented. Play your role. You have the support. Make the decision. If you're afraid to make the decision, I promise you, once you make the decision, you won't be afraid anymore. It's just about shifting to that next level. And there's not enough analysis on the planet to tell you what's going to happen. That's not how the quantum works. I can tell you what will happen without even flipping the 6th position down here. You are going to learn why the mentor. There is something going on here about the wisdom family, about you kind of being taken under the divine's wing, unless this is a romantic mentorship, which feels unethical, but we're all teaching and learning. But is there somebody being taken under somebody's arm, to human beings doing that? And I think that's just going to play itself out differently here. But you definitely have the support, the guidance, the grace, the wisdom. I mean, the grace card is right there staring at me. To do this wisely and well, whether or not you get what you want or not, everybody wants something different. The path is laid out here. Let's look. 6th position. Let's complete the cross. The future. What's before you on the path. This is mutable. This can change. Another major arcana card. And we've got the Empress. Okay, Mawu, Great Mother. Like Gaia, right? But also the very, very earth, very, very, because it's ruled by Venus. We have, yes, of course, that Libra connection there. We think of the Empress that way, but also Taurus, right? There's a very strong Taurian energy going on here, also ruled by Venus. So to get that, yeah, there's something very divine mother here. This card to me represents the entirety of the divine feminine, as the Empress represents all the queens in the tarot, the Emperor, all of the kings. Well, that paired with friendship, that we go from romance to friendship, might be a probable way that this decision goes. If this is a professional mentorship and the threads have brought you to romance, with the major arcana card, the divine wisdom of the divine feminine might say, keep it friendly, make the decision. Like, okay, just because this is a trigger for me, I will not sleep with one of my students. I just won't do it. It's creepy, number one. It's unethical, number two. And it's creepy because it's unethical. And I've had plenty of opportunities to, well, most of my clients and my students are women, so I'm gay. It's not that much of an issue. But I have said to plenty of male students when they've kind of flirted with me, I'm like, slow your roll, baby. I think you're adorable, but I'm your teacher. Wait a couple of months until after this class is over and find me. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I've noticed they don't usually work out, right? But they can become great friends. So if there is a romantic thing here that needs to, I don't want to say downgraded. You don't downgrade someone into a friendship. A friendship is an understanding of mutual support, right? And an equal give and take. Otherwise, it's a job, right? Then play your role as a mentor. But I'm also feeling that if you go really into your heart, that there is a friendly way to do this, right? Even if you eventually end up romantically working with this person, it's a horrible way to say it, commingling with this person, taking more of the romantic tangent of the relationship, exploring that. And like I said, with that Wheel of Fortune, this is something that's scripted, but it might be a very valid decision because of the conflict here, that it may not match up to the dream that you had wanted for yourself. Sorry, if that's how that's rolling, that there's a way to give birth to this in a very healthy, balanced, emotionally satisfying friendship way, rather than either to dive into the romance, which feels like there's a conflict of interest there. See, the thing about a mentor and a mentee, it's they're not on equal levels of power, so it's easy for one to take advantage of the other both ways, right? So it's not just to the advantage of the mentor. The mentee could take advantage as well. It's tricky shit. But that there is something friendly that perhaps, like, look, let's just be friends for a while. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to help you. We're going to balance that out in some way. But until this knot in my stomach calms its tits a little bit, I'm just going to try and know that this decision is being supported by the divine, at least right now, and that it is the happier, better feeling, lighter decision for now, at least. Remember, it's just for a month. There's your micro. Let's go the macro. Let's see. 7th position. What is the universe trying to teach you? What is the lesson in all of this? The card of criticism, the 9 of Blades. You might be familiar with it from the Rider-Waite deck. The 9 of Swords, right? So lots and lots of thought. So that we go from this place of analysis here in the 2 to criticism. Now, people want to hear criticism as being naggy. That's not the original meaning of the word, because you have critical care unit, right? And you have critical thinking, you have critical writing, right? So it's about detail. But the angel card is Archangel Michael. So the devil's in the details here and the angel's in the details here. You get to choose which you want to focus upon. Your lesson here is really looking at what is your truth. Not just what's true. What's true is I'm really attracted. But the truth is I really need to be honorable. The truth is I need to see this clearly. The truth is that the divine is supporting me and showing me things so that I can make a wise, loving, powerful decision despite whatever I may think. Now, all the arrows are pointed inward, right? So the capacity here to do injury to yourself by overthinking might be huge, but that might be part of what? The lesson, the position that these 2 cards are in. But I would say, unfortunately, Archangel Michael is the only archangel in this deck. Honestly, in a relationship, I would go with Gabriel or Camiel, but, I speak angels semi-fluently. Archangel Michael's fine in terms of saying, please cut me free from illusions, delusions about this. I need to see this clearly. What is the right, just, fair, here's the word, honorable thing to do? Because dishonor has a biological consequence. I wish people understood this. The things that you keep in the shadow can make you very, very sick. You're as sick as your secrets, right? That's why I will confess, but to a confessor, not a mentor, right? So have a little talk with Archangel Michael. Light a candle. Do what you got to do. But this is going to take some mental time. I really would not rush forward with this. At least let this friendship card here in your 6th position be about being kind to yourself, friendly with yourself. If you really just can't really make this happen as a relationship or figure out how, Archangel Michael will help you cut the ties that bind. that binds your mind, right? That so you'll be able to see this. There is a friendly way to do this. There's always a diplomatic way to do things, but you have to be willing to do that no matter what the other person says or does, which is not the easiest thing. We want to be diplomatic so we get what we want, when it's really what we need to be that matters. All right, from the outside looking in, the 8th position. How do you appear looking horizontally from the world looking at you? All right, well, you've got the 6 of Pentacles, right? Success. I love this card. It's like the Special Olympics, right? A wheelchair race. Anybody who's in that fucking race is a winner, right? We know that. We know that what it takes to keep moving on, right? To physically pick yourself up and keep moving forward, to break through the finish line. But mind you, it's only a 6. It's not a 10. It's not the 10 of Pentacles harvest in this deck. It's the 6. So there's a forward momentum here. So people see you as, okay, this Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign has been through a lot. They've been through a lot. They're under handicap, success under handicap, but they're moving forward. They're achieving their goals with self-acceptance. So you're not kind of going through this blindfolded, right? You're like, this is who I am, and I have to accept that I'm in this situation. I'm in this situation, what's to accept, but it's okay. It's okay that I'm feeling conflicted. It's okay that this is not what I had dreamt for myself, or if I'm having nightmares about this, it's okay. My soul's trying to communicate something with me. It's okay that there are some romantic things going on here. It's a nice way to say it. Romantic things, thoughts, feelings, attractions that I'm supposed to face here. That this is not by accident. I haven't done anything wrong, at least not yet. And it's okay that I might feel odd about birthing a friendship here through this somehow rather than acting on it. And it's okay that I'm overthinking it if it's about honor, because it's worth overthinking. People go, oh, it's so much work. Well, your honor is worth it if you understood the biological consequences of dishonor. When you do something you know isn't right for you, right? All sorts of havoc, and then there's only us to blame. But I promise you, if that's how it plays out, that's in the divine plan too. Sometimes we just have to make the wrong decision to learn what the right decision is. But this is definitely showing that you are successful and moving forward confidently, at least in terms of self-acceptance. I don't think you're lying to yourself, is what I feel like that's saying, particularly with that Archangel Michael there. I think you're being very honest with yourself, and to say, you know what? It's okay, it's where I am right now. I don't know what to do about this. That's okay. This is a decision. I'm going to take my time with it. That's okay. Notice I keep saying it's okay instead of I accept. Because I accept can be a little bit of mental masturbation, where it's okay soothes. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I don't know what to do. It's okay that I'll deal with this eventually. It's okay. It's okay. It helps de-stress the nervous system so that you can what? Focus, right? Go more internally. It feels like your answers are more internal than external right now. I mean, you've got a preponderance of major arcana cards. Well, 8 cards down, 4 major. So, you know, half and half. Your resulting cards, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 1 earth, 2 air, and a fire. All right, so no water showing up here yet. That I find interesting. So with that pentacles there's a lot of thought, and there's definitely physical attraction here. But I do have a feeling this conflict is sexuality versus ethics. Sexuality versus, can you be friends until it's cool for you? Oh, well, maybe somebody's married, maybe somebody's with somebody else. Happens. Happens for us to learn, to heal, to grow, to become the best that we can be, to chip away the excess marble. But my Scorpios, what's honorable? Only you know. Everybody has a different honor code. It's stored in your solar plexus. Pay attention to it. The 9th position. Destiny. Now, it's not going to tell you what your destiny is on the path of true love, but it will tell you where you are in the process, at least, again, month of March or timeless when you're supposed to watch this, how you are taking the fate, that which you cannot change, and alchemizing it into destiny via the hero's journey, being heroic, courageous, walking the high road. Interesting. Now, this card, Capricorn, it's your first court card. This came up, I think, for Sagittarius, the previous reading. I think. It's either Sagittarius or one of the ones I did a couple of days ago. Before Drunk Tarot, I totally took a day off. I was so hungover. Not too bad, but I needed to sleep. So this teacher of hard knocks, right? If this is actually a Capricorn person, I get it. But when it's in the destiny position, that's saying someone's your destiny. I get it. But with the card of miracles here, this says that your destiny right now, your miracles, your shift, your defying of natural law, or really seeing things as the blessing that they really truly are. Maybe it's getting what you want. Maybe it's becoming who you're meant to be as a result of this. Comes as a result of slow and steady wins the race. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. It's the mountain, right? Earth sign. Think a creative cardinal mountain, right? Things live on it. Things live off of it. Things grow in it, around it, under it, through it, right? But nobody runs up a mountain. Even a mountain goat, the sign of Capricorn, yeah, they may bounce a little bit, but you can't run up a sheer face of a mountain. You have to step by step that shit, right? Take your time. That's how the miracle unfolds. And I'm going to say something about this card, all right? This is the crowning card, right? This romance is crowning. It may not have hit yet. It's still up here. It hasn't hit the third eye. So do know that this might be an impulse out of nowhere, that let it play out, let it be born as a friendship, because slow and steady wins the race. If it is mutual, give it the time that it needs, because this is a timing card. The Wheel of Fortune. It's like the clock, the wheel of the year, the Sabbath, the 8 Sabbats, the solstices, the equinoxes, and the 4 other high holy days of the pagan wheel of the year. Familiar, needless to say, that there's something here in time. Chronos, which is the god Saturn, right? Time and Saturn all connected. The Roman name is Saturn, the Greek name is Cronus, the father of the Olympians, right? The Titanomachy, the war between the Olympians and the Titans. Take your time with this. There is a development of a miracle here. It's all under grace. It's all in the palm of the hands of the divine, and that's true for all of us in a lot of ways. But you are really being mentored through this. I don't feel like you are the mentor here, but if you are, that would make sense with the ethical conflict going on here. This is not how I thought it was going to be. This is not my ideal, my dream way of doing this. Let's see your last position down. Remember, the 10th is as mutable and changeable as the 6th. And another major arcana card. I just want to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are half and half. Yes, you're half and half. I love half and half. You got the card of strength with the card of study. I'm not kidding you. Like that really says it. It's just keep going. Your outcome is there's something you have to learn here. But the card of strength, it's not about physical strength. The physical ability to endure it, perhaps. But this is about calling upon the strength of the soul, the grace of endurance, the crone grace to me. Oh, great crone, please grant me the grace of endurance that I may call upon a strength beyond me, a strength beyond this world, a love beyond this world, a power beyond this world, to endure and study and learn that which this situation has brought me to. In other words, if God can bring you to it, God can bring you through it, right? But there is definitely that stronger element here, that this is the path of true love, that there is a lot of marble being chipped off of you. A lot of, stop shaking your David at me, that there's a lot of stuff here that can be learned and healed. I mean, your card of grace there says that this is not going to be as hard as it looks, but then grace is often hard won. It may not be a juggernaut fast thing in terms of time versus intensity. It may be less intense how it unfolds, but take more time. So take your time, slow your roll. A miracle is always worth it, but miracles, we can't speed them up, we can't slow them down anyway. They are things of grace, manifestations of grace. Particularly if there is a healing and a forgiveness and a shedding of skin involved. That's the type of miracle I live with on the daily. Like the miracle of forgiveness, I am both a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles. Highly recommend it, particularly for pagans. You can get over the language of it. There's a lot of quantum stuff in there before we were talking the quantum. Well, there is your Celtic Cross. We have 2 more cards left, though. So let's get them on the table, and then we'll do an overview, and I'll see what else pops, right? let's get a word, a whisper of love from the higher selves of all involved. That means your higher self, the higher self of anybody else in here. By the way, I am going to say if this is actually a person, this Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, whoever, whatever, and is the mentor itself, then there is a miracle worker on the case here, but that can also, again, represent you, as well as it can represent kind of the universe itself mentoring itself through you to teach you to refine your character miraculously. That was a mouthful. Let's ask the higher selves. It's probably from them. The higher selves of all involved, please, one card, a whisper of love for this Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for March 2020 or timeless, please. What is the whisper of true love that the higher self collective has for this Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love, March 2020 or timeless? Focus on love. Analysis and criticism. Focus on love. Look for the good attributes in each and every person in your life. And I'm kind of feeling the therapeutic nature of that, particularly if you look for that within yourself. Focus on the love within yourself. In other words, it's saying, though, this might be a karmic, maybe twin flame, right? Like there's this romantic attraction there, but is not, there's a conflict in it, right? It's not just, oh, should I trust my heart again? I'm feeling like there's something deeper there with that card of dreams. This might be something you've always dreamed for, but with a conflict that usually means that there's something ethical going on there, something that prevents it or keeps you from saying yes wholly, W-H-O-L-L-Y. So to focus on love, look for the good attributes in each and every person in your life as well as in the situation. Well, the good attribute is this is going to teach me patience, which is big with Capricorn. This is going to teach me slow and steady wins the race. Not that Scorpios are necessarily impulsive that way, but if it is a strong sexual connection here, which is sort of indicated, then to be a bit more of the goddess friendly about this and say, you know, I mean, if they make a pass at you, that's going to really put the decision right in your lap, as it were, to really say, you know what, I like you. If this is somebody that's been in your life a long time, you might even be able to say, look, I love you. I've known you all this time. And yeah, I'm feeling it too, but can we slow this down because I want to be friendly with this, right? I just think there's something about being honest with this Archangel Michael thing, but with criticism, it might take you some deeper introspection, some thinking about how you really want to communicate yourself. Particularly, I just said this to my client before. I said, we just didn't have a Me Too moment. We're in the Me Too era where you just can't get away with that shit, and nor should you ever have been able to do. Assault is assault. Crossing boundaries is crossing boundaries. Yes, we have to learn through all of that stuff. We've all had our boundaries crossed. But when it comes to romantic sexual shit, that's not, it was never cool. It was just never cool. So that might be that ethical thing, that push and pull going on here. But that with that mentor thing, it's like you're being refined through this. Keep in mind, refinement, you can put something through a furnace to burn off the impurities. That doesn't mean it's having fun while it's being refined. So it doesn't have to be the easiest thing in the world to so much want to have your foot on the gas, but simultaneously needing to keep your foot on the brake. That can create a lot in your nervous system. That's no fun. Just saying. But to endure it, to get through it, there is a miracle here, but you have to study your strength. You are going to be taught about your own internal strength, to study the strength of your soul, that last position. Just know that the lesson here is worth it. I mean, 5 major arcana cards. It's half the spread. I can't say that's usual or unusual, but the ones that you got, not that there are any weak major arcana cards, but really, you've got strength, a strong card, the goddess herself in the Empress, the Sun, the Lovers, and the Wheel of Fortune. That's all kind of fatey destiny kind of stuff. So focus on love from your higher self, within yourself, that I love this person, but I love them enough to do this wisely and well. So let's ask the Ascended Master as your last card down for a healing mantra from the Healing Mantra deck by Kahn. One side of the card has the mantra itself, the other side of the card the name of the mantra, so I can look it up in the bookie book. Helpful, the bookie book, gotta say. Nice deep breath, let's do this. Oh, my Ascended Masters, I felt that. Please, one card in clarity. What is the perfect healing mantra card for this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for March 2020 or timeless, please? Let's just get right to it. These are Scorpios. They can handle it. Expressing free will. Holy crap. It's totally your decision. My choices determine how brightly I shine. This is an ethical quandary. I love this. See, people are like, oh, he's really into Kahn. I'm like, yeah, but his deck is like, it slays. Slay! The Sword of Michael, slay me. I call you killer, 'cause you slay me. And I'm calling Bellevue, 'cause you're nuts. Name the show it's from. You're not getting a prize. Expressing free will. My choices determine how brightly I shine. No shit. With this on the table. When free will is expressed, the quality of your experiences is based not on the actions of others, but on how wisely, mentor archetype, and lovingly, the lovers, each moment is viewed. So it's not even so much about what you do, it's about how you view it, right? Which I do think is this card of criticism in your lesson with Archangel Michael. It doesn't match the unconsciousness of others or fight to have the final word. Instead, free will conveys the brightness of your soul through the sum of your words and actions, even when responding to those who aren't acting their best. How that flips that a little bit for me is that this comes out of nowhere, right? Like somebody that you were not expecting to be romantically involved with you is suddenly romantically involved with you, and you have this decision to make, and you're feeling the conflict because maybe they're not the dream. That could be one part of it. Again, there could be that ethical quandary here. Literally, if one of you is a mentor, then this professional mentorship, you don't want to screw with that, man. It can ruin a career. I mean, look, if both people are willing, both people are consenting, then that's fine. Then you make your boundaries accordingly to do it honorably. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying I've been in that situation. Although I was never really a mentor. I'm a teacher, though. Last little bit here. This mantra is ideal for overcoming feelings of disempowerment, like if you don't know what to do here, feeling that way, fulfilling personal goals, and becoming more ambitious. My choices determine how brightly I shine. Not what other people's choices are, your choices determine how brightly you shine. Let's do an overview. I'll pop up the picture. Magic clap. We've got the mentor archetype in its shadow. This is what I've been keeping my eye on for this whole reading. Inability to allow the student to move on to the role of master, imparting false instruction, as well, of course, a romantic relationship with a mentor and a mentee just spells trouble. But the light attribute, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character, although again, this entire relationship situation on the path of true love might be doing that for you. My Scorpios, passing on wisdom and refining your character as a student of true love. And what's the card here from the love pack? It's grace, right? It's about that there is the divine at foot here. This is something of a more transcendent nature. It's not a mistake. It is scripted. I mean, really, right next to that card of the spinning wheel of the Spider Woman, the Wheel of Fortune, right, with romance. So this is something that is scripted to happen, but what happens, we do not know yet. We just see your progress through this for a month. That looking at where you are, starting this off, your first position, you've got the lovers with a new beginning. Yes, this obviously with that card of romance in the crowning position could be a new romantic situation, but I cannot divorce it from the lovers card being about a life-changing decision. It is in its beginning stages, So it feels like the attraction is there, the decision is there, but in that fifth position, the romantic element maybe has not fully been revealed just yet. It might be just feelings, but in your second position, with the card of the sun in support, it's like the universe is supporting the happy feelings here. So it's a real quandary. It's a bit of an ethical quagmire if this is a professional mentorship in some way, shape, or form, because it does feel good. Like, I get it. It's like it feels very, very clear and very, very wonderful. And yet, in the third position, the Four of Flames, conflict with dreams. That you're having nightmares, or pairing with that Nine of Blades in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, that staying up at nights, the thoughts like keeping you awake, that you might be driving yourself a little crazy in terms of how this could go wrong. Like, again, if it is a professional ethical quagmire here, giggity gig, you might want to kind of slow it down, as it says in that Capricorn destiny position, to kind of slow your roll on this, on some of the terrified thinking going here, because the conflict, yes, I guess could be imagined. The dream card can be that too, that it's just a dream. It's not actual literal. That would make sense with the focus on love card 2 here, but we do need to go back and forth with our decisions, particularly because here in the fourth position, what's behind you on the path here is this retreat with the two fencers, the Two of Blades analysis. So there's been an awful lot of thought here, but it feels like the emotional part of it is overriding a lot of that, perhaps the passion, the fire. Again, no water cards here, so let's not go with water, let's go with fire. Let's say that there's more of a fire dynamic here, more of a passionate, romantic thing here that is sort of contradicting perhaps the analysis that you got while in retreat. Moving up again into that fifth position, as we looked at before in the overview, it is the Spider Woman. This is something that is woven. This is the fates at work. This was scheduled to happen. So it did not happen by accident, but a romantic entanglement. Thank you very much. A quantum entanglement, enmeshment is going on here. You have to do what you have to do to heal this honorably, whether it's yes, my decision is yes, I want to see where this romance goes, I want you, or yes, but not now, right? So there's more than just yes or no in this decision, or no, I just really can't do this. My gut is saying no, I am terrified, I'm freaking out, I hope you understand. Can we, what? Be friends? And then we really do see the Empress there as a remedy in that case, or at least a timeout, right? Saying, look, let's just be friends, let's establish our friendship. If you're already friends, this might be the case in some of you watching this, then it's about, let's really preserve our friendship right now and maybe back burner this for a little bit while we figure this out, because I've got this big decision to make and my choices determine how brightly I shine. So what's being sent to you by the divine as your lesson? The Nine of Blades with Archangel Michael, to focus critically on the truth. What is not just your truth? What is the truth? Look at your contracts. And for once, I just don't mean your soul contracts. I mean, like, your business. Like, is this a professional mentorship? What are the rules, the laws that you need to really look at? If you signed paperwork saying that you will not fraternize with your students, your mentees, what have you, then you really need to be critical and focus on that for your own well-being and safety, so you don't, what? Drive yourself crazy overthinking it. At least you can say, look, policy is, if I don't want to lose my job, thank you, I'm very interested, but can't right now, let's just be friends at least until summer. Summer school, we'll see what happens. Don't teach summer school then. Don't leave yourself open like that. But what I love about this is in the eighth position, from the outside looking in, you are carrying on in a very confident way, self-acceptance with success. So maybe that's the thing, is that you do have a bit to risk here in all of this. If you really are, I don't want to say upwardly mobile, but moving forward in your career in a balanced way with that Six of Pentacles, that you're very much self-accepting, that you're probably very easy to be around. Most people who are self-accepting are easy to be around because they tend to accept other people more readily. But that you don't want to lose that momentum. I get that. And that sense of self-acceptance. No, I finally got to this good place and now this happens. Yeah, I can understand that being part of that conflict. Maybe you are living sort of your dream life right now and you don't know how to kind of work this person, this romance in ethically. But that's why I also love that ninth position, the destiny there, which is also called hopes and fears. It's like, well, what we most hope for in this situation is a miracle, but our fears, it's going to take so long. It's going to be hard work with that Capricorn card. Now, granted, it is the only court card in the spread here. So yes, this could represent this romantic partner here as part of your destiny. Well, the romance isn't got the fate card in the 5th position in the 9th. This could be a destiny in the making, but it's going to take a miracle. It's going to take a miracle. Yeah. And that miracle is going to take climbing a mountain. It's going to be a step-by-step process. It's going to take time. Just remember, Cronus, C-H-R-O-N-U-S, or O-S, is the god of time, right? So Kronos and Saturn are the same deity, so to speak. So take your time, slow your rolls. Slow and steady wins the race for this miracle to unfold. And in the meantime, I just got a different interpretation for the strength card with study, which is that if you are strong and you follow your honor and you walk the high road and you do this courageously, you will learn, but also what the two of you will learn from each other in this will be worth it. And there is no outcome in terms of what happens with this relationship with the major arcana card, like the strength card with study. It definitely says that lessons are going to be learned, that you're going to have to endure it, and that it's going to take courage. But maybe that courage is to contain this, to walk honorably, to walk the high road, to maintain a friendship, allowing things to unfold in due time. While the higher self is saying, focus on love, look for the good attributes in each and every person in your life, which means, yes, I see the good in this person. I'm attracted to this romantic connection here, but also I can see in this situation that there are good attributes that we can't rush into this because of the situation that we're in. We can actually get to know each other as friends. Love is a rose, the stem, the friendship, the blossom, the romance, right? So you want to nurture the friendship so that it can blossom and bloom and fall again and again and again and again and again. Keeping in mind the healing mantra, expressing free will, my choices determine how brightly I shine. And considering you've got that sun card in the 2nd position, partnered with 4 other, making 5 major arcana cards in a 10 position spread, it looks like you will shine, but it's going to take the slow and steady wins the race as you study and learn. Courageously so. Wow. Wow, my Scorpios. This is intense. I can see you keeping this on the down low. I can see you kind of keeping this to yourself, as Scorpios are known to do. But certainly this is a path of true love spread. It's not easy. It's going to remove all sorts of excess marble from your David, so to speak. Pocket gay. So let me give you the blessing, right? Because who doesn't need a blessing? May the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed on the path of true love in whatever scenario they are in, where they are imparting wisdom or receiving that wisdom, refining their characters or another with grace, that they may walk this with grace, that their choices, yes, will determine how brightly they shine, but with this conflict and with these miracles and with so much major arcana energy in this spread, the gods are on their side, the angels are on their side, the higher selves, the masters. This is all woven into the destiny. Nobody has done anything wrong, but my goodness gracious, Archangel Michael, be there and bless them with truth, with guidance, with grace, that they may walk honorably on the high road to fulfill their role in the divine plan and be who they became to be in this life for the well-being of all. And so it is. Thank you so much for watching, my Scorpios. I love you so much. I don't know if I told you, my older brother Matthew is a Scorpio, so I grew up with Scorpion energy, so I always feel that compatibility. I have a dear friend, Brian, who's also a Scorpio I've known for decades. So I know that you guys feel things very deeply, but don't always show it. So make sure you're taking some time for yourself in this, and remember that your mantra, my choices determine how brightly I shine, can also be, well, my choice to play this close to my chest and take my time and love myself through this, because I'm a soul that incarnated to play this role, and I didn't know this was scripted. How's that, being kind and loving to yourself? Cool, cool. Thank you again so much for watching, my darlings. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment below. I really want to know what this is, because this plays itself out in some interesting ways. So, of course, I would love to know. Particularly the romantic, sexual ones are fun. Cool, cool. Wishing you the very best. and the very blessed on the path of true love. Timeless whenever you're watching this, but of course for March 2020 as I sign off. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.